Hello, lovely souls. I was introduced to a new term today that I want to share with you before I go to sleep. Fear casting. Have you ever heard of this term? Fear casting. This is what I want you to understand. Quantum physics teaches us that we are hopping back and forth between alternate realities all the time. All the time. And it's based on your thoughts, feelings, and emotions from one point to the next. And so this is why it is so important for us to use the mind as a tool and not a slave, to be very intentional about our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Our emotions are our guidance system. If you do not feel good, your emotions are pointing to you that you are outside of your truth. If you do not feel good, you need to intentionally shift to find a way to feel better. And so I want you to think about when your primitive mind, this is like maladaptive here. It's like when we are planning for the worst case scenario, we are not doing ourselves any favors. When we are planning for the worst case scenario, like thinking about what could happen, we're actually creating those circumstances. You're actually creating a timeline based on your fear casting. So this is why it is so freaking important that we are intentional about creating new neural pathways within our brain that teach us to joy cast instead of fear cast. Because even though you think that you're planning and you're doing yourself a favor because you're trying to keep yourself safe, because this is when we become a slave to our mind, is when we think we are trying to keep ourselves safe by predicting the worst case scenario and preparing for that. When in actuality, you are creating the exact circumstance that you are reaching to avoid when you're thinking of this. What's up, Jocelyn? Yes, did that to myself this morning, then snapped myself out of it. Boom! Awareness is key, isn't it? The fact that you are aware in that moment actively transmutes you stepping into that timeline. And so I have been hyper aware of this recently. I'm doing some work with Gabby Kowalski. She's amazing. Look her up. Learned this the hard way. Yes, Amanda, don't we all? Don't we all? There's always a lesson for us, isn't there? But I have such a tendency to go into worst case scenario. Like, what if this and what if that? And boy, isn't that a negative, dangerous spiral? You can really go down the rabbit hole, can't you? But know that the more often that you are intentional about pivoting, immediately pivoting, that you're creating new neural connections in your brain that are going to fully support you in shifting your reality and shifting it very quickly and stepping into these higher timelines and staying there. So what happens is all of these years of programming and like we've trained ourselves to think in a certain way, right? We trained ourselves to have these thought patterns and these neural pathways become myelinated, which is like super, super wrapped up, super, super strong. And so as you are intentionally creating a new neural pathway, one that is based on hope and trust and positivity, instead of fear and lack and desperation, you're actively dismantling the old neural pathways. So you're creating new ones and you're dismantling the old ones. And a great trick that you can use, which has been huge for me, you can get an elastic band. I wear this on my wrist often. You can get an elastic band, put this on your wrist, and anytime that you start to go into some sort of negative thought pattern, fear casting, damn it, flip yourself. Flip yourself really hard in the wrist. It hurts like hell, but it works. So this is what happens is when you start associating negative thoughts with pain, your body says, oh, I don't want the pain, therefore I do not want the negative thought. Talk about snapping yourself out of a habit very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. It works very well. So get yourself an elastic wristband. Flip the shit out of yourself next time you start having a negative thought pattern. And this even works for like interactions with your kids. Like if you have a teenager, or I'm just using my teenage example. If you have a teenager and if your interactions kind of go south often, dude, this is a great reminder to you to like stop and breathe into your heart. Stop and think before you speak. Stop and think before you snap. Flip yourself and create that association between pain and anything negative, and it will absolutely shift you. I promise you. Amanda, since I've started closely studying Neville Goddard, I've been able to catch it and shift it quickly. That's awesome. I love Neville Goddard. What's up, Gigi? Okay, so stop fear casting. You're not doing yourself any favors. So I want you to think about, too, when you're thinking about something negative in your life, do you believe that the thought about that is drawing it to you or repelling it? That's a quiz. What do you think? Drawing it to you or repelling it? And we know, look, the law of attraction, like there are no exceptions. You are not the exception to the rule. You are special, but you're not the exception. Nobody is the exception. The law of attraction is very consistent. What you think, you draw unto you. What you think about, you draw unto you. What you focus on becomes, right? So think about what you would like inside of your desired reality. And if it is anything outside of your desired reality, let it go. Let it go. And I know it's not easy. Everything I say to you, I'm reminding myself of, always. I'm never talking down to you. I'm always talking with you because these are always reminders that I need as well. And like right now, here in this moment, this is what I needed to talk to you guys about and bring to you because I needed to bring it to myself. And I know that when I am inspired, I am only inspired through someone else's desire. So I knew somebody was desiring this message. And so realize that you, as a unique, amazing frequency to this world, you have something very specific to offer that no one else has to offer. And I say this all the time. This is like my mantra for you guys because it is so, so true. And realize that whenever you are inspired, someone is calling you forward to serve. Divine service. That's what it's all about, right? Divine service. This is light. This is love. This is what we freaking came for. And if you're watching this, I guarantee you that your calling is divine service in some way, shape, or form. So do yourself a favor. Focus on your desired reality. Learn to plan for the best case scenario, not the worst case scenario. Because then you are actively constructing all the time that beautiful, beautiful highest timeline that you want to be sitting on. That's where you want to be playing, right? Fear casting creates the lower vibration timeline. That's not where you want to be. So don't think about that shit. People, places, or things that do not light you up, that do not support your desired reality or your high vibration, let that shit go. Focusing on it is not worth your time, it's not worth your space, and it is not worth sacrificing your desired reality because you are worthy, you are deserving, and far, far from what this matrix will try to convince you, you are enough. You don't have to do anything to earn it. You're enough. You coming here right now, being here now is all you have to do to be enough. You are enough. Tell yourself that often. You are enough. Dan Stevens, to desire is to inspire. Spark the fire to show desire. Oh, I like that. You're good with words. All right, have an awesome night. I love you so much. quit fucking fear casting. Let's joy cast, damn it. I love you so much. Have a great night, y'all.